Welcome back to another episode of Cheesy Science. We're going to get real cheesy today because that's what we are doing on this lovely fall afternoon. The text told us some new information that we learned about atoms and how atoms can go together and how atoms make up all matter. It's kind of crazy to think, but if I kept zooming in and zooming in, here I'll zoom in on something interesting. If I zoomed in on this cheese far enough, I'd have to zoom in a lot. I would actually zoom in close enough to see what atoms look like. Every single thing, solid things like this cheese, liquid like what's in my little fidget here, the air, everything is made up of atoms. And they're really tiny, and they're so tiny that we cannot see them, but there's a lot that we know about them because of the work of scientists. So the text told us that we could use marshmallows and toothpicks to show how atoms go together. I went into my refrigerator today and I could not find any marshmallows, but I did find these lovely cheeses, so I brought them out. I like them because they're different. So you can see here I've got my Colby Jack, which is yellow and white, kind of marbled together like this. And then I have my Swiss cheese, which is this lovely off-white color. And these are going to be my atoms. So the text said that I could take a marshmallow, or in this case a chunk of cheese, and pretend that it's an oxygen atom. So these are going to be my oxygen atoms, the Swiss cheese will. They're a little bit bigger because oxygen atoms are a little bit bigger size for atoms. So the text said if I take two oxygen atoms and I take a toothpick and I stick them together, then the toothpick becomes a bond. A bond just means something that connects two things. So this is my bond that holds these two oxygens together, and it makes it into a molecule. Anytime you have two atoms that go together and they're connected by a bond, that makes a molecule. That's what that's called. So this would be an oxygen molecule. It has two oxygens. Oxygen is O, so we would write that as O2. You might have seen O2 in the media, in advertisements, in books, TV, other places. O2 is the molecule that makes up most of our, well, not most of our, but much of our air. So if you could zoom in on the air with a really good camera or a very, very powerful microscope, you would actually see little O2 molecules just flying around everywhere. But we can't do that because this camera's not that powerful. The text told us about this oxygen molecule, and it also told us about another kind of molecule. It's very important in our world. It said that if I take my oxygen atom and if I take two of these hydrogen atoms, these are going to be my hydrogens. Notice that they're smaller than the oxygen because hydrogen is smaller than oxygen. And if I put a toothpick into each hydrogen and I stick them together, I bond them together, this is what a water molecule looks like if you were able to zoom in close enough to see it. You would have one oxygen atom at the center that's bonded to a hydrogen atom on this side, and it's bonded to another hydrogen atom on that side. And that's the reason why we call water H2O, because H stands for hydrogen. We have two H's, two hydrogens, and one oxygen. That is the O. So you have H2O. And if you are in the grocery store someday, or if you are watching a commercial on TV or on YouTube or anywhere, and you see H2O, now you know what it stands for. It stands for this cute little guy, which is my water molecule. And all water is made up of these, all ice is made up of these, and if you boil water and you make steam, that's water vapor, that is made up of these guys as well. So in the next chapter we'll learn about why water can look so different if it's always made up of these little molecules, and it's always made up of the same stuff. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Cheesy Science. I'm going to go and eat these. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.